Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out. With your hosts, Brandon, Collin, and Aaron. On this week's show, Rhyolite is also there. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
How are you doing?
I'm very tired.
Oh no!
Well, I had to go back to work today. And I was unmotivating. So I was very exhausted.
You using your you hear that? Is that
Why, yes I am.
Okay. Aha!
Listeners, if you need a lozenge for throat or voice, the unofficial sponsor, hashtag not actually sponsored, the Grether's Pastilles throat lozenges, highly recommend. Rocking the blueberry flavor currently.
Oh,
very choice. Very nice.
I have the black currant in front of me right now.
That's good too.
This is my yes. I had to use mine quite extensively today after I ate a gyro.
Got him finally, guys. I got him.
No, I was I had a gyro. Okay, I had a gyro.
Okay.
And after which my throat decided it no longer wanted to work for any reason whatsoever for anything. Because I kind of this is so boring and nobody cares, but I kind of choked on an onion, and then after that my throat bricked up. Like there was nothing for me. I couldn't talk. I was walking around croaking and like had no voice. Like it was literally like this, and I for like over an hour, and then I went, if only I had something to help me with this. And then I was like, oh wait, I do. So I went and I pounded these for quite a long time after that, and they worked. It worked. So that's my endorsement for
great.
Euro. Have your Grethers on hand.
Or if you have to go back to work after about approximately 2 weeks, or exactly 2 weeks, whichever, and you, in your normal human being life, do not speak as loudly as you do when you are talking to sixth graders. Just because it's necessary to speak loudly when talking to sixth graders, because, well, they're not listening.
At all times,
so
yes.
you have to,
Indeed,
you have to have a high volume, right? Plus, just my presenting voice is much louder. So,
well, yes,
you're standing in front of the classroom talking about common igneous rock types. Why, could be excited about this. There's important stuff here. So
you have to bring the energy. Sometimes
you do. You do.
Yeah.
It's all right though. Whenever I was telling them about the thing, like we talked about, like how these rocks are useful, like what do we do with them, and some of them they were like, wait, what, wait, huh?
Oh,
like pumice was fun.
Yes,
very useful. So we did granite, right? Very useful. Building, interior design, kitchen countertops, excuse me. Pumice for your exfoliating needs. And they were like, wait, really? It's like, yeah, check it out. Check your exfoliant. Look and see if it says pumice. It might. Boom.
Ta-da.
And then we talked about basalt. Yeah. Yes. Because, all of your roads are made out of basalt.
Mm-hmm.
Kaboom.
Which are important.
They're important. And I never really tire of thinking about the fact that roads are recyclable. Because you can just grind them up and use them again. So
yes. Infinitely so.
It's a really weird thought, but basalt is so durable that you can just like grind up the road and like tumble it to kind of like clean it up, mix it with some more tar, and lay it back down again.
Yeah, you don't. That's it. It's quite amazing. Yeah,
yeah. And I told them that, and they were like, "What?" Yeah, and then so it was pretty good. Rhyolite was there. It's kind of sorry.
That's okay.
It's also there. And then
it's awesome.
An obsidian. That was the other one. I was thinking. There we go. So very exciting, but voice got very tired today. So I was like,
Yes. Well, that's nice. Kind of hopefully. How long do you find it usually takes you to get the not just you back into the swing of things, but the class writ large?
the first day is usually not too bad because they're kind of tired because they haven't been going to bed since like they all stay up to like 3 a.m. because they're ridiculous. So today was kind of not too bad. Tomorrow will be a little bit more rowdy, possibly, but I just reminded them that this week is reminding you about how school works. Right. I told them, like, I know for the past 2 weeks, you've been running, shouting, and whacking your siblings in the head. But we can't do that.
Yeah.
And
don't try and deny this. I know this is a fact.
And like, it's even more potent in 6th grade because we have multiple sets of twins, right? So like, it'd be like, you can't hit them here either. Okay. Don't hit them at home. Don't hit them here. Okay. Stop it. So we got
nice.
So we have to talk about that. We have 3 different sets of twins. I think that's right.
It's a lot of twins.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to be like, no hitting your brother. Stop it. So today was all right, especially this morning. They're all like,
dragging. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
What is my life? What's happened to me? Right. What Gandalf meme? I have no memory of this place. So
exactly. Yes.
So we'll see. Just a couple days, kind of get back in the swing of things a little bit. Make them wake up. Be like, do you remember where your science notes are? Find them, please. They're on that shelf over there. Spoilers. You go.
I remember where they are. Yeah.
It's always jarring too because you come back and then the email is like, grades are due tomorrow. And I'm like, what grades? What?
Yeah.
How do I log into my grade book? I don't even know. Wait, hold on. Let me find it.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute.
So I have to like dig through there and find it. And like they're all done except for like a couple people who were gone at the end before we left. So I was like, come here now. Give me this. Like, guess where you're going to recess with me. Hooray.
Yeah. Wow. To do things.
Yeah. So I only had like 3 different people that I need stuff from. I got everybody else before we left. So they were just either gone or so behind that they didn't get all the way done because they were absent a bunch. One of them was really sick for a long time. So like he was getting caught up. It was just like the timing was real bad because he got sick like right at the end of semester. So it was like, no, like right at the beginning of December. He was sick for like a long time. It was like, oh no.
I need you to not do that real quick.
Yeah, right. If you could not, that'd be great. Nah, he was real sick, so we just got him caught up when he came back, and he was just doing a little bit for everybody, So it was just like, oh, I need just one more thing from you. And he was like, oh, okay, boom. So that's fine. I was the first person to turn in my grades in 6th grade, and
wow,
the secretary, because I have to go in, you have to like finalize them in the grade book and like import them to so they have to like open a grading window and you have to like import them into the like quarter/semester tab. It's like a different tab than the normal grade book. So you have to basically say, yes, all my grades are done, import them over, finalize them. So the program like locks them in to the thing. And then I have to email the building secretary because she's the one that does all the stuff and like prints the progress report, the grade cards and everything. So I emailed her and was like, I'm done. And she sent me an email back and was like, who are you? And what have you done with Brandon? You're never first. I was like, listen.
Now wait, now listen here.
Listen here. I mean, it's true, but I had less missing work than the other teachers. So I didn't have or my missing assignments were smaller. So like we got them banged out pretty quick. So we're done.
Oh.
So basically my day being like, oh, how does school? I also had to be like, how does school work? What is this? What am I doing? How long is it? What time does class get over? I don't remember.
Right. That's always the when I was teaching labs, that was always the hard part after a break, because you'd come back and be like, no, wait, does this end at 2:15 or wait a minute.
I mean, there is an enormous difference between 2:15 and 2:20.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's big. It's vast. All right. Like, I know some people might not believe me, but 5 minutes, like if you get done with your lesson 5 minutes early, oh no. Like what?
Yeah. that is 5 minutes to descend into terror.
You know, 12-year-olds, right? It goes downhill in a hurry. So like,
yeah,
3 minutes is fine. Right? Usually they like put their stuff up, they get ready, and they blah blah blah. They might like mess around the iPad for like a minute and it's time to go. That's not bad. That's fine. But when it's longer amounts of time, oh no.
No,
right.
No,
like,
right.
It's really hard for me too, going from like having absolutely no schedule of just like being home, doing whatever, to having an extraordinarily rigid schedule, right? Like that's a big like, it's not just for it's big for the kids too. Being like, oh, what? I gotta go. Oh, what? I gotta. But it's for me too, right? It's just like hanging out at home, eating lunch whenever I want, doing whatever. To be like, you can only eat lunch now. Like, no.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I don't want to eat lunch that late. Stop. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Not a lot of excitementness happening.
Oh, well, I organized today.
Oh no.
Well, it was one of those things of
scary word.
It is, but it was necessary because first off, so we completely rearranged not the entirety of our downstairs, but we flipped how our rooms were. We had this middle room that was in between our kitchen and our family room that we just called the playroom, where it had a table in there and it had a bunch of the kids' toys and this big open area. And it was very underutilized. Yeah. And but we would eat in there sometimes, or sometimes we'd eat in the dining room, and then sometimes sometimes we wouldn't use that room ever. And so
that's weird. It wasn't supposed to be like a dining room.
No, because we have a dining room. we have a full like formal
interesting
dining room, and it's this room. It's like a second living area, is what it is. So it would be like. So you've got the front room. You walk in. Okay. And then it's one room back from that. So it's kind of like, that's why I call it the family room versus the living room, I guess, whatever. So the front room, as I will call it, is when you walk in. It's very odd. It's actually L-shaped. It's very wide and open. And we had actually kind of cordoned off a little corner for that. Was where our couch was that faced a TV, and then the rest of the room was a big open play area. Okay, we have kids, so most space
play area is
possible.
Important.
Yeah, and so it felt weird. And so one day Megan was like, "I want to flip the awkward second living area and where our couch is." And so we spent the day.
I mean, that makes sense. Like, make that into the living room, and then make the random play area in the back. I could see that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So we made our whole front area now it's the playroom and that other big area that was opened already. So it just has everything. So it's this big area. So now like the kids have double the bookshelves they've got, because we had one bookshelf in the one area and then in the back area. That's where their that's where they have their indoor trampoline. And then we moved the table that was awkwardly in that other room up so it sits kind of in front of our fireplace. And now it's like that's the kids' crafting table instead of our dining room table. And so now,
good choice.
like, yeah. And so we moved all of the now our family room is the subset room that's one back, so it's away from all of the windows. It's a little bit more private and secluded. The couch fits great in between our two big windows, and it's just a much more simple room. But I noticed that I had space for a side table now for our couch, and I was like, but I don't want to buy a side table. What could I use as a side table? And then I realized,
do you know that side tables are stupid expensive?
Yeah,
right.
It's
the most idiotic thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's the most expensive piece of furniture that should not be.
Price per amount of wood is very odd.
Like, you could pay like hundreds of dollars for an end table.
Yes, for an end table. So I realized that we at some point. So during the once a year trash day or whatever, like the whole city puts out all
citywide
their stuff.
Garage sale.
Citywide garage sale.
That's what we call it down here. That's what it's called.
Well, it's not, except you just put your stuff out in the front that you don't want, and a big claw machine comes and takes it all away.
Okay, so like, ours runs in conjunction, right? We have like a citywide garage sale. Like the whole city like has garage sales like 1 week, and then like a couple weeks later is the citywide cleanup sale.
Oh,
not cleanup, where you can like one time a year you can put stuff out.
Yeah,
and it just disappears.
Yeah, I drug a 1950s washing machine from our basement and that was in the coal chute and set it outside. And 3 minutes later, a 78-year-old man was lifting it into the bed of his truck. Yeah. And Megan was like, "Should we help him?" And I was like, "No, he's got this." Anyway, during that time, you just pass by stuff, and like I've actually like we've gotten bookshelves. You just see stuff, and you're like, oh, they're not getting rid of this because it's broken. They just don't want to sell it. Like that's genuinely like they. So I had actually collected an end table of sorts, and I had it in my office, and it sat right next to my desk. And I was like, I want to put that next to the couch. Yeah. And I also have
a place to put your water, right? Like you need a place to put your drinks. Like it's important.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, I have one. I want to put that by the couch. But now what am I going to put? All the stuff that's in there, where am I going to put that?
Desk.
Well, no, I don't have a big enough desk for.
No. Everything. I mean, what are you going to put by your desk? What are you going to substitute for all if it was full of stuff?
Turns out, we had bought a shelving unit, a wire shelving unit, thinking it was much, much larger than it actually was. And it came out as this little tiny thing, and so it's just it just sat like in a corner of our house, like completely unused. Like the kids would put some stuff on it and whatever. Well, I have now moved that next to my desk, and this is now my desk side table. And then the actual side table is a side table now by the couch in the couch area. So this entire
a lot of Jenga-ing around here. It's very Tetris-y. Like this goes there and this goes here.
It has been. So because I had to completely declutter and remove everything from my former side table, that triggered if I'm diving into all of this, what else am I going to be diving into? So like taking everything out of these two little drawers, now is like, okay, well, what do I actually need by my desk? What are the items in here that I don't need? Where do those go? And some were like, oh, that goes into actually my top center drawer of my dresser, because that's where I keep these things. Well, okay, now I'm in there. I need to remove everything from there. Okay, now, great. This goes to
I did this a year or so ago.
Oh my gosh.
With my coffee table in my little front room here, my little room.
Yeah.
Because I had a bunch of just stuff on it. Like it was just like a collecting table, right? Where I just put things.
Yes.
Because
the collecting area. Yeah.
A cereal piler. So I decided, all right, I have to make room for stuff.
Yeah.
Mostly that space is now taken up with a not insubstantial Tolkien book collection. That's fine.
Sure. That's fine. No, move on.
It's on the table. It's very stylishly. I mean, well, maybe not
piled.
Very. It's piled. There's some of them are standing up. Some of them are piled. But you can see the spines.
Yeah.
It's a pile just so. Anyway, I had to I threw like a whole bunch of stuff away. And then, I did that. I was like, okay, well, and then I had this other stash area like under the table that I had stuff, which I still need to organize a little better. But like,
Yeah.
so I dug a bunch of that out, and I moved stuff from like here to there. Like, I don't want to get rid of it, but I don't really need it right now, so it goes there. And I sort of like moved it down the line, right?
Oh,
And then
well,
like the end of the line, the big area, I just like threw a ton of stuff away.
that's exactly what. Exactly. I was like pushing stuff into the stream of items of my life and realizing that over the past, because this was something that when I just worked my normal jobby job, I had lots of time for, like on the weekends and in the evenings. Yeah. And now I don't have
always.
I don't have time for this. So this was actually extremely therapeutic for me. And I, you know, it was just one of those things of like, oh, I realized I've got batteries in 7 different places. Where's going to be where do my batteries need to go? Right. Like that's what I did a lot of. And
also,
like one of the things that
summer with my desk too, right? It was like,
one of the things on my, in my office, I have one of those, it's one of those organizing drawers that you see on workbenches where it's got all the little trays that pull out.
Oh yeah.
I have one of those. It's great for like pens and ink and erasers and all sorts of stuff, right? But
don't tell me that I don't have room for one of those.
So no, it's a 9. It's 21 little drawers, and it's pretty compact.
No,
you can fit all your pens in there with the inkwells and and erasers and you can put some notebooks and stuff in there too. It's great. I love it.
It's terrible,
but it's also like. It can be fiddly, right? So I like pulled out all those drawers, and then I'm seeing where things are, and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these cables. So now I've got to find cables, and then like I had a stash area that was above the washing machine, so I've got to pull all that out, and then we've got the junk drawer, and then I was like out in the garage because some of the stuff was like, I actually don't need the wrenches inside the home. These can go to my toolbox that's actually in the garage.
I do that every once in a while because they'll be like some of my I don't have a lot of tools because I don't use them a whole bunch, but like screwdrivers and like random wrenches and stuff, they do tend to migrate inside.
Yes.
So every once in a while I have to be like, out, like I have a toolbox. I bought a toolbox specifically for this reason. So back out you go.
Yes.
Right. Like,
and then, but each time I'm taking places from one place to another, when I arrive at the new destination, it's like, oh,
you have to clean it out.
I now have to do work here because there wasn't a wrench here previously. It's now been taken up by who knows what. Now I must make room for wrench, and that means so it was just a whole process. And it's also one of those depressing things of at the end of the day, you can't really tell any like from the outside difference.
That's because so if you think about it like pushing it downstream, right? Like at the end, there's like this reservoir, right? Where everything just ends up. And when you start going in there, like the end, like you keep moving things from pile, oh, I'm going to take this and put it there. But that means all the things that were in like spot B, I have to pick up and throw some away and then move other things to like spot C. You just keep pushing it down. And there is a spot like X, like the end, like a spot Z, right? Where that thing is what suffers the most cleaning because that's the stuff that like you haven't even seen in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't need this. And you just like throw it all away. So like, even though you can't tell, because that's usually some sort of closet or like cabinet or storage bin somewhere else. So even though you can't see that big reservoir of stuff is gone.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Because eventually it does get, you make that decision to throw it away or do something with it. And so that's,
this thing has been sitting. I forgot I even own this. It's been sitting in this tub for like 3 years. I'm probably just going to throw it away. Now, I struggle with this, right? Susan is much better at this than me. She does this more frequently than I do. Because I'm like, no. Also, I'm not motivated to do that. Like, do it later, whatever.
But I had also like, because the drawers in the little organizing thing that you find on workbenches, they're not very big. I couldn't fit like big rolls of tape in them. So so once a roll of tape got below a certain size, I was like, oh, I can store that in my little drawer. Like that's where the small rolls of tape go. So I had to pull them out, and I had some electrical tape. I was like, why do I have electrical tape in this drawer in my office? Why? Well, it's because
it would fit there.
It would fit there. So I pulled out the thing of electrical tape that literally had like 3 more pulls around it before it was just junk, and I was
Nice.
like, okay, I could throw this away.
Yeah.
And I went
You have
through
like two. You always have like 2 full rolls. You're like,
yes,
okay.
yeah, I think I'm going to be okay because they come in like 17 packs. And I also went through and like checked all my pens. That's something I hadn't done in a very long time, of like pen check. So I have 2 pages of my notebook that are just the scribbles and the writing that I use to make sure that they're still flowing. And I over last night, I like soaked all the fountain pens and like gave them all the deep clean and everything. So it was very much a like resetting the chaos of everything and like pulling down the folders for the tax documents and making sure I have all that information, and going through that motion was all part of this process that all started because we moved a couch. It's like I can't. It's like it was because also when we moved the couch, it was like, okay, we're moving the couch. What else? Now that the couch is moved and is moving, what else can we do in this area? So it was like, deep clean the floors, scrub the baseboards, wipe down the walls, like all this stuff went on that. And it's because you have those tasks where it's like you do need to. I think, not that I'm always trying to like optimize the most out of everything that I do.
No, you
are
certainly okay. You are.
But
don't lie to us, okay? Don't lie to me, listeners. You are always trying to optimize things. It's okay. But we know we understand. We know.
I need to make the most of this is what I'm trying to do, right? I'm not going to use the word optimize because that's
like optimization.
No, same different, very, very different words. It's not going while this is done. We need to make the most of this because I don't have to do this again, right? That's the other thing, is I don't want to have to move the couch just to bespokely wipe down all the baseboards in the room. So we'll just, while I'm wiping down this wall, I might as well wipe down the other wall and then that's set. And then, just once these things go in motion, you can't stop them. You just along for the ride, and you let the mania take over for a day, and it's great.
I don't know about great, but it's whatever.
So yeah, I found some stickers with dot colors on them, and it's great. I got rid of. I don't know why we have owned exactly one DVD player. And that was 7 years ago. I don't own a DVD player. Somehow I have 5 HDMI cables.
I mean, it just happens, right?
It does. So that was the HDMI cables, old camera charging cables, Ethernet cables. I had an Ethernet cable that was like 8 inches long. I was like, what? Why? What is this thing?
Very handy.
What did I do with this?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That was a great question. I have no idea how this even came into my life. I have no memory of this thing. And it's so what I did was I went downstairs to my basement where I have my router and I have the Synology and I have our security camera set up. And I was like, "Oh, you are now a little bit closer," and I would just plug directly in. So, I found a spot for it. But again, looking at these things going, okay, I don't need these HDMI cables and I'm not going to hold on to them anymore. So I will, if I can find one that is labeled that I can figure out which one is the quote unquote best, I'll keep that one. And then these other ones will just get moved one step closer to being pitched. So that was my day basically. Really,
I was scavenging through my thing because I did need something from my random cable box the other day. I needed like an old phone charger with the USB plug-in thing in it.
Oh yeah.
Because one of the presents I got for Susan is like rechargeable. It's a rechargeable kitchen appliance, but it's USB charging.
Oh,
which is confusing to me. This happens a lot when you look at like kitchen gadgets. It's like it's a frother. It's like a little battery operated like frother / like small hand mixer.
Yeah.
So you can like make milk froth. We got it so that you could make like, she got some matcha tea, but she ordered the wrong one. And it was like the actual matcha like powder thing.
Oh,
we didn't have any way to make it. So I got this sweet like frother deal. It's pretty rad. It's really good tea, actually, by the way.
Nice.
So one of her Christmas presents was that. That was the need. Easy. And
Look, I
but
love
it's
it.
USB charge, right? And a lot. I was just looking at other like that because I wanted a rechargeable thing because I don't want to buy batteries because that's dumb, right? I don't need that in my life. So I wanted rechargeable things, and there are a ton of rechargeable kitchen appliances, and they're all USB charging, which is odd to me. That is your method, right? So I need a little brick cube thing so that I could
the little wall wart.
Yeah, the wall
right?
thing, the wall plug. So I could just plug the USB into the plug and then plug it into the wall and it charged thing.
Yeah.
Because like, what are you gonna do? Like, take it over and sit it by your computer and plug it into your plug your mixer into the laptop so it can charge? Like, what? That doesn't make, doesn't make any sense.
It's not at all what's going to happen. Yeah.
He's very goofy. So I actually had to go into my box of like, I had a random old phone charger somewhere. Where did that go?
Well, and I did that too. I actually discovered 2 other charging bricks and cables. So I was like, instead of the kids having to always use our chargers when they go on their phones, because they have old phones that have everything wiped off and they're locked away from everything and they just have some games on them. And they get to do that every now and then. It's like, instead of them having to go pull my charger out of the wall, now they each have their own dedicated charger and cable.
This is a wise choice. Yeah.
Like I'm mad at myself that it took so long to get to this point. So, but it felt really good. And I haven't had a lot of time to dedicate to something like that, where it really is it's not a super, like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not insanely productive, like for like business or whatever, or like life, but it was so like therapeutic in a sense to go through that process and really think about and be super intentional about what items go where, why are they here, what are they being used for, do I have a plan for this, can I make an improvement in our lives with stuff we already have. See dedicated chargings for kids' phones. Like that was oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I think as I was going through that process, just made me think like I want to try and find more space for that kind of stuff this year, because I think it is important to do that, not just so that you don't look up 10 years down the line and be like, oh, there's stuff everywhere. Like that's one thing, but like this just satisfaction. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But just put more down, push more down. Yeah. Find another footstool to shove more things. Exactly. and go like, it was just very satisfying. Basically, at the end of the day, is what that was. And I was like, oh, I like this, and I missed it. So it's good stuff.
Good. I'm glad you had a productive time.
I did. But speaking of extremely productive things, we gave ourselves a challenge last week.
We did.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the challenge, Brandon?
I do. I have my list.
Okay.
Completed.
Okay. So this was the top 5 cat movies, specifically with ones where they're the main protagonists, so that it wouldn't just throw in a random one with a weird side character and be like, okay, well, because there was a cat on screen for 0.3 seconds, this is now a cat movie. Although I will ask, I didn't do this, but I guess if the movie revolved around a cat in some context, whether the cat was a main character, like actively doing things or not, I would still accept that.
Which I had one that was like that, but I ended up leaving it off my list because I just liked some of the other movies better. But I will give you the runners-up that didn't make the cut at the end.
Okay. Yes. So do you want to save your runners-up for later? Or we'll do like we'll go back and forth 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then we'll discuss runners up. Or do you want to start with runners up?
No, we'll do honorable mentions between 2 and 1. I think that's
okay.
Fancy schmancy, right?
That's good. I have to remember. Okay, honorable mention. Okay, very good. Well, I will let you kick us off with your number 5.
All right. Well, my number 5 is kind of set the tone here. This I haven't. Okay, so other full disclosure, I was not able to rewatch all of these, so a lot of this is based on memory and some googling. Okay, and also the fact that mine are kind of ranked in like order of if you asked me today to watch them, which ones would I want to watch the most? Right. Like that's kind of how it is. Like the ones I remember liking, the ones that I have good memories about, the ones that I would be like, yes, I'm down to watch that. Right. Let's go. Because I was not able to watch a bunch of them. So that's the caveat here. So my number 5 is a movie I haven't seen in a long time, but it's pretty good. It's got some good, nice soundtrack and some zany shenanigans. That is, of course, 1970s, the Aristocats. Right? This is that era of Disney movies that I like, but no one else does other than you, right?
Oh my gosh. Like, yeah.
It's kind of, I don't remember what they call this, like it's that kind of lost era where like all my favorite Disney movies are actually from this time.
And that was, yeah.
Everyone's like, these Disney movies are bad. I'm like, I like them. Right? It's funny to me that half of the animation is reused in the same, and you're like, hey, that's a scene from Robin Hood. Hey, that's the exact same scene in the Jungle Book.
Or well, because they were cutting costs of it was so bad, right? Like they were really strapped for cash during this time. Yeah. And even it points in during the same movie, and in the Aristocats, if I remember correctly, there is the segment where the butler has just dumped the cats. Spoiler alerts. It's the butler. The butler did it. Doug. And he's coming back and he's being chased by the dogs, and they're going through that scene that's kind of comical, like he's on the motorcycle and they're being chased. I think there are even repeated frames in that same
I believe
sequence.
In that whole scene. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's true.
But yes, then across movies, if you look at scenes in like the you can compare the Jungle Book and like Winnie the Pooh. There are very similar. It's all very the same.
Or the Robin Hood movie, like it's all the same.
Yes.
Animation stuff. But it's still good voice acting, right? Like I could legitimately just listen to Ava Gabor say literally anything.
Oh my god,
his voice is so amazing. So like,
yes.
I don't even care. That's okay.
I agree. This was actually my number 4.
Okay.
So
spoilers?
You what?
Spoilers for a little bit.
Oh, spoiler! I figured if you mention something, I'll tell you when it's
okay.
Mine.
I figured there's going to be a lot. When I was googling movies with cats, there was a lot of movies. There was not as many movies as I was thinking about, and a bunch of them I had never seen before or never heard of. So I imagine that we're going to once again share some commonalities on the list, but we'll see.
Oh, yes. Yes. So there's your first one, the Aristocats. It's number 4 on mine. I think because it's the one that I've watched the most recent. I just went through watching it with the kids. And so it elevated it quite a bit. I had forgotten it was actually made in the 70s. Like when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's...
Yeah, you see the animation, you go, oh.
Oh, actually, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I like that. And also it's, I just like the zaniness of it too. It's just hilarious, and the characters that they pull in. And then the whole, like, it's a kind of the kidnapping, sequence. It's just
Yeah,
I liked it.
there's a lot
Yes.
of good fun
And the
parts
voice
in there.
acting is top notch.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's number 5 because like it's never like one of my favorite movies. Like I wasn't usually being like, oh my gosh, I need to watch this movie right now. But I always enjoyed watching it when it was on. Right? Like I liked watching it. So again, caveat, this is my list today. Right. Based on the fact that I haven't seen some of these movies in a very long time.
Yeah.
So we'll just put that asterisk there. If you disagree with my list, know that it is always changeable list. Lists are always changeable.
always, actually, quite frequently, actually.
Maybe tomorrow I'll be like, you know what? Actually, I was right.
Actually, throw it all out.
Yeah.
Re-record.
So what was your number 5?
So my number 5. Okay, so my number 5, and I'm going to argue the main protagonist point. So I said I didn't do this, but let's be very real. Of course I did this. My number 5 actually does have a cat that is. Sorry, my throat is still acting up from the onion I ate 7 hours ago. It's so bad. The cat in this is actually quite essential to the plot of the movie, and takes and assists the what we would consider like the main protagonist in this, but also helps in the resolution to the storyline and arc of this movie.
Okay, I think I know what movie you're talking about.
I don't know. Let's see. This is, of course, the movie 1993's The Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I knew it.
This was my number 5 because it just, in my mind, is like at the very edge of what I would consider cat-related movie, because it's the black cat, the witches, cursed child, in cat form, immortal for all time, coming to set them free and prevent this from happening to other children. And so, like, it actually does play a considerable role in the movie. This is also a movie that I have not watched really recently, but I remember always enjoying this whenever I did. And have fond memories of Binks the cat, which Binks is not just a good, like, it's a good cat name. That's the thing. I think the other thing that
his name is
Thackeray Binks, and then he's a cat, and Binks the cat just, it's perfect. Like it
does work very well.
That's a great name for a black cat. So, I also just like the movie in general. And then Binks is there. So I don't know. Did Hocus Pocus make your list?
It's actually my number 4. So we'll just continue talking about it slightly.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's my number 4. So yeah, I would agree with you, right? That he is like a very central character. Like a lot of the story revolves around him. Like in order to save everybody, they have to like resolve his story, you know, in order to defeat the witches, in order to save the little girl, whatever her name is. They have to resolve his arc, right? So I'd say that is a pretty main character, definitely a main protagonist in the story, even though you could argue it's the other kid because he goes through the growth, right? He experiences the character development, right?
Yes.
Binks is much more of a static character, right? Like he starts out good, he ends good, right? It's like not really a surprise, but he is very central to the plot. So I would classify that as a cat movie, right? So
yes,
I think that's fair.
Okay.
That's also the movie that I have seen the most recently on my whole list.
Okay.
So maybe that's why I put it a little bit lower, because like I wanted to watch some of these other ones more, even if they're not necessarily. Some people might not think they're quote as good, but I've seen that one the most recently. But that is my number 4 on my list. So,
okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. Okay. So back to you with so you just did number 4, I guess. So,
oh yeah. So, but you already said that your number 4 was
the Aristocats.
Yes. So we just had them flippity floppity.
Yes. Okay.
So there we go.
I'm interested to see your number 3.
Number 3. Man.
3.
All right. Also coming to you from 1993. Right. This is a movie that until I looked it up again, did not know was a remake of a movie from the 60s. I was unaware that this has happened. I did not know that at all. This is, of course, the classic Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey. That is my...
Oh my gosh.
Right? Sally Fields, right? The voice of the cat.
Sassy.
Incidentally, cinemacats.com tells me that's a Himalayan cat.
It is.
By the way,
yes.
named Tiki. So I use my resources here on this one, right? I like...
That's...
This is one of those movies where I remember going to watch this. This was like one of those summer movies that we like. We used to get those like school summer movie things where the movie was cheap, right?
Yeah.
And we would just go to just random movies. Now, this was, I also distinctly remember the movie theater that we went and saw it in is no longer there. It was actually at the Fremont Shopping Center where like Just for Him is.
Yes.
Battlefield and on Battlefield there. Well,
Yep.
at the very far, what was that? The west end of that, the thing was like a sporting goods store for a long time. That actually used to be a movie theater for a while. And it was like just a random cheap movie theater. There was only probably like 4 screens in there, maybe 5. But like it was like not expensive, and like some of the summer movie things were redeemable there.
Yeah.
And so we saw it. I'm pretty sure I saw it in that movie theater. Actually, couldn't tell you what it was called, but Springfield listeners, let me know what's up. But I saw it in there, and it's just a fun movie, right? You got the the lost, like trying to find your way back home kind of deal, right? You got Michael J. Fox, right? Always excellent Michael J.
Yes.
Fox, and then the older, wiser Shadow, right? Trying to be the leader, and then the conflict between them, and then Sally Fields being there, doing all the stuff with the cat. So that movie's just a fun kind of like adventure-y kind of movie, right? Kind of like a coming together movie, just to like overcome odds, put it in that category. Like you have to come together, you overcome your differences to overcome the problem, right? So I remember that movie being kind of fun to watch, and so I definitely would want to watch that right now. So I put Homeward Bound at number 3. Also, again, I did not know this was like a remake.
Was it a remake, or it was based? I know it was based on a novel, right?
Well, yeah, but there's also an old movie that's just called The Incredible Journey.
Oh,
right. I found that when I was looking up movies.
Okay.
Here. So Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey appears to be either a remake or like a spiritual remake of the 1960s movie, The Incredible Journey, which I have not seen. So,
I see. Okay.
Very interesting.
Okay. The reason I know it was based on a book from the 60s is because Homeward Bound, The Incredible Journey is also my number 3.
Is there? Yeah.
Boy, howdy. I think I have seen this movie exactly twice. Not it's a tearjerker.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
I know. And all of these were a very long time ago. For sure. Yeah, it really is. It's one of those that I was looking at some screen grabs from it, and you're just like, man, they got the dog and cats to do what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a marvel in what they did with the pets and the situations they had them in. Obviously, I'm sure they were very safe and whatever, but like, great storytelling with the animals. My goodness, at the end when Shadow says, "Now all you have to learn is to say goodbye," it's like, oh. Okay,
man, got him.
Like,
speaking of onions, what's going on here? What?
Like, not okay right now. I'm really oof. So, man, yeah, that one's it's good, and it definitely is with the cat and the dog working together, like you said, overcoming differences. Yeah, that's my number 3 cat movie as well.
Very nice.
So now I'm I'm very interested to see where things go from here.
Well, staying in the you could tell when I was in my formidable years because this movie comes to you straight from 1998.
Okay.
Right? It is a classic story. Right? Some might even say Dickinson-esque. Right?
Okay.
The story of an orphan in a big city. That's right. I'm talking about Oliver and Company.
Oliver
and Company. Right? This movie is excellent. I remember this movie being fantastic. Also, Billy Joel is the dog. What? Like the guy that's like showing him around, right? Like, was it Dodger? Right? Dodger is the dog?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, Dodger.
Yeah.
What?
And the the always original Dom DeLuise is also in this movie. So that's just great. Right. But it's the story of the cat, right? He gets lost in the big city and he's all trying to find his way, and they're gets taken under the wing, and they're trying to teach him how to be streetwise and stuff and all that stuff. So there's lots of shenanigans, lots of fun stuff, lots of singing on top of taxi cabs. So I put Oliver.
This is that's interesting. This is one that I don't have a good connection with. Really, like I know we have the movie, and I've definitely seen it a couple times, but this one actually just slid completely off of my list. This isn't on my list at all.
Oh,
yeah. And I don't know why. I guess. I'm trying to say.
It's one of those ones, like, it's not one of the most popular movies.
Yeah.
Right. It's definitely not a popular Disney movie. And it's got a lot of, like weird stuff, but it's a little bit of zaniness. Like, why is there loan sharks threatening and all this weird stuff? I don't really know, but I remember being a fun movie.
Yeah.
And maybe I put it so high because I did want to watch it again. Like, I was really like, oh man, I really want to watch that. So maybe that's what made it up so high.
Sure.
That could be it. But I just always remember, like, even like 1998, I was a little, like, I was older by then. So I might, part of me was like, too cool for that. But also I was extremely nerdy and ridiculous. So the other part of me was like, heck yeah, this movie's awesome. So like,
naturally,
right?
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna have to go back and look at that.
I
one.
remember it being kind of a fun movie, right?
Okay.
It's fun to watch. There's lots of fun stuff going on. Billy Joel is awesome, so like that was good. Yeah, so I just remember it being a good movie, and plus it's based loosely on Oliver Twist, so that's always fun, right?
Which we know is good.
Yeah, gotta love those. So there you go. Yeah, that was my number 2.
Okay,
Oliver
you're number 2.
Company.
Okay.
Look at this. The list diverges in a way.
Oh man, I don't know. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. I'm re-looking at my list. I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with this. My number 2 is actually it's a comedy drama and about 2 friends on an adventure. And I am obviously speaking out about the much lauded and appraised Adventures of Milo and Otis.
I was wondering if you were going to put that fever dream of a movie on this.
Yes, of course. When I think back to things that are foundational to my upbringing and youth, this one is up there. Okay, I have not seen. So I've watched this movie more recently than others, and I like to admit, but before then, I still have remember being impacted by when they have the pups and the kittens, and at the end of the story, and how it's super nice and happy, and that was a very it is a fever dream. That's 100% true. And I still really want to try and find the original as a Japanese release to see what exactly that's like. Because
I need to watch the re-release. We missed an opportunity here because we were just at Dad's at Christmas, and that movie is in the basement somewhere.
It is.
You should have watched it.
Yes, we should have.
Dang it.
We should have, but we didn't. So
Man, next time. Okay. Live watch along, audio watch along of Milo and Otis. Oh Brother reacts to rewatching Milo and Otis.
Yes, this I think this needs to happen. I mean, it just this was extremely foundational to my upbringing. So, and it's super cute. And again, the screen grabs. It's like, oh, it's a little orange tabby, a little pug. So, I approve of this. This one. So that's my number 2.
We have a episode where we go at length remembering the fever dream that is Milo and Otis. So we'll have to put that in here because I don't remember what the title of that one is, but we'll search it up later. But put it in the notes for you guys. But that is a good listen because the movie is a fever dream. I have no memory of it being set in Japan at all. Like absolutely nothing in my memory gives it any sort of Japanese context whatsoever.
No. Well, there's just no context, period.
That is true. Why is this dog in a river? I don't know. Where did they meet this crab? Not sure.
Yeah.
Is it a bear? What?
There's a bear and there's a raccoon. And a what? Why is this happening?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good one. Good one. I was wondering if that was going to make your list.
Yeah. In case you were wondering, that is episode Stream of Consciousness mode, where Aaron also details Rockadoodle.
That's a good one. That's a good episode. I'm not just saying that.
Obviously.
I'm just saying that because they're all great. But no, I really like
it. But also. Okay, so that was my
your number 2.
That was my number 2. So now we need to detail what didn't make the list.
All right, I had a couple. When I was sitting down doing this, I just I did a short list of where I just sort of wrote down a bunch of movies that I thought of.
Yeah.
Right. And then from there, I whittled it down to movies that I remember being good and have strong memories about, and then put them in my list. Right.
Okay.
So a couple movies that were on the short list. We'll just do 2. One of them we have actually discussed also in the episode about foreign animated movies. When I watched A Cat in Paris. Right. That is a movie where the cat is sort of the driving force around the movie, but he's not the main character, but all of the shenanigans revolve around the cat, and the cat is involved in everything. So I really like that movie. But I didn't put it on the list just because I was like, well, he's not really the character, and he doesn't have any, voice lines. He's just sort of there. He's actually just a cat, right? So
yeah, he's just.
I left that off the list just because I didn't feel like it met the criteria of cat. Because in all the other movies I have here, the cats have speaking lines. So
sure,
that makes sense. And then the other one I left off because mostly I just didn't remember the movie at all. Is the Cats Don't Dance movie. Right. I left that one off. Just because I was I have vague memories of this movie, but I don't remember what it. I looked at the synopsis and was okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But I don't really remember having any sort of feeling about that movie. So positive or negative. So I couldn't recall. So I just didn't have a good enough grasp. It's been too long since I've seen it. And so that one stayed off my list as well.
Okay. Well, I also had A Cat in Paris because of that episode that we were talking about. And nice. I need to go back and I will find that episode and put that in the show notes as well. The other one that I had that I was going to include in kind of ironically, I guess, but it is so horrifying, and I suggest anybody actually watch this movie, is the movie Cats from 2019.
Yeah.
No, this one was put in there as a warning to everybody else. Do not watch the original play. It's just very unfortunate with Judi Dench in this movie and what's done. to everybody else in this. It is it's Wikipedia rightly has this categorized as a fantasy horror film.
Oh no.
Oh no. Because of just the what they do to what they do to these poor people. So don't watch Cats.
True. Yeah, no, don't put that one. I also thought about putting a meme entry on here, but I couldn't do it because the movie's too bad. That is, of course, the Halle Berry's Catwoman, because in that movie she's supposed to be an actual cat, right? It's like that lame,
yes,
right? Because it's like the cat gives her the power or whatever. So it's like it's so ridiculous. Like this.
Yeah, that is awful. Awful.
I always put that one on there.
Other movies, I guess I'm surprised Boondock Saints did not make your list.
Their cat movies.
There was a cat in the movie.
Oh, that's right. Oh yeah,
there is for a very brief period of time.
We don't want to upset Linda at Cinema Cats. Okay, we don't want to play anything like that.
Just making sure that is out there that we didn't select that one.
We do not condone cat violence.
No, of course not. What
about That Darn Cat remake from the 90s starring Christina Ricci?
No, I did not.
And is it Kenan Thompson? Is he the guy in the movie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'll actually go ahead and take. I've been fascinated with AI and all sorts of stuff recently, and I actually went to ChatCPT and I asked, "What are the 5 best cat movies of all time?"
Oh boy, what was its list, and why is it worse than ours?
Yeah, and I said, what are the 5 best cat lists? Number 5 was The Cat Returns, a Japanese animated film about a high school girl named Haru who is visited by a group of cats and whisked away to a magical cat kingdom.
Yeah, that's a movie. I think I've seen part of that movie, but I don't think I've seen all of it.
Their number 4 was Kedi, a documentary film that follows the lives of several stray cats living in Istanbul, Turkey. The film explores the deep bond between humans and the cats and the important role the cats play in the city's culture. This is available on Amazon Prime and is now on my watch list.
Hey, all right, there we go.
Yes,
review upcoming.
Yes, number 3 is wrong. Fantastic Mr. Fox, a stop-motion animated film about a clever fox who outwits a group of farmers to steal food for his family. One of the main characters is a cat named Bunce, which is not true. Bunce is one of the farmers.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah,
who'd have thought the Fantastic Mr. Fox didn't have any cats in it? That's weird.
I was like, Bunce, Fantastic Mr. Fox, and it's one of the anyway. Yeah, so that was wrong. I was like, well, that's okay. Anyway, number 2, The Aristocats, animated Disney film about Disney Aristocats who are kidnapped and have to find their way home with the help of an alley cat named Thomas O'Malley. I'll go ahead and give away ChatGPT's number 1 film.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is actually the movie Cats, a musical fantasy based on the stage musical.
Oh wow! All right, so we learned that we cannot trust cats their opinion at all. The ChatGPT has no opinion. So it didn't actually watch this movie.
No, it just knows about them. So yeah, that's there's a little bit of help from our AI overlords.
Wow. Yeah. Super unhelpful. I'm one movie on the worst list and one movie not starring a cat. So there you go.
Excellent. I am very interested to see what you have done for your
right. So I again traveled to the 90s. I had some trouble thinking of other good cat movies, right? I was also Googling, I just Googled cat movies or movies starring cats. And you get a lot of movies that have cat in the title, but then there are no actual cats in the movie, right? Like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, right? It's more of an idiom than a actual cat, right?
No cats on tin roofs.
Yes. Please do not put your cats on hot tin roofs. Okay. Nope. But then I was thinking, wait a minute. Lions are technically cats. So my number 1 cat movie is 1994's The Lion King. Kablam. Might be slightly cheating, but we didn't set any parameters. And lions are technically cats. So This movie is just excellent in literally every single way.
Yes.
Uh, and so I might have cheated slightly, but I put The Lion King at number one.
I'm not going to throw a flag for this because I also have The Lion King as my number one movie. Because I too was like, well, dang it, that's a cat. And this is quite possibly one of the best movies ever produced, ever.
Yeah, it's so good.
You've got the fact that you have Jeremy Irons, James Earl Jones, music by Elton John, and it just like
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
1994's Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
And
his best work, obviously.
And Hans Zimmer.
Zimmer.
This is Disney Disneying to the Disneyest.
And
like this
Ferris
is
Bueller, right? Isn't Matthew Broderick old Simba?
Old Simba.
And Nathan Lane.
Nathan Lane.
Oh man, there we go.
Of just so much going on in this film. And just I think this was
Shakespearean influence.
Yes. Of course. Pulls on lots of themes. And when I think back to my childhood, there's a lot of obviously a lot of sentimentality and nostalgia that goes back to this movie. But even on more recent viewings, because let's be honest, I viewed this very recently. It holds up. It is very well done, and man, it's great. It's really, really good.
Yeah, I mean it's very rare, right, to have an important, like, this movie was important to me when I was younger as well, right? Because like this was an important, like, we had this movie, we watched it a lot, so there's this very important connection, right? The Sega game is impossible to beat, just in case you're wondering. But like, it's very rare that there is an important movie from your childhood that's still good later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like we were talking about, last week or whatever, like I'm pretty sure if I watched the Three Ninjas right now, I would not have the same takeaway that I did when I was like 10, right? Like it's not quite, something's missing here. I don't really know. Missing a little something. But The Lion King is good like whenever. Like it doesn't matter when you watch it. The movie's excellent. It holds up so well.
It does.
It's like so well done. It's so good. It's so fun. And like, again, the nostalgia factor is like 9,000, right? With that movie.
Well, and the Library of Congress agrees, because in 2016 it was selected for preservation because of its culturally, historically, and aesthetically significance to the culture of the United States. Yes, it is. It is preserved.
There we go.
Yeah, it's been dubbed in Zulu. It's been spread, like, it's just globally at this point. And yeah, there's everything. This is one of those where it's just everything's firing on all cylinders, from the songs, the voice acting, the storyline, the animation. Like, it's just once my brain, like, because I did the same thing, I was doing just a movie dump, and some of these I had to go and I had to look up again or like think about, but like this one I kept circling back to, and I was like, when I think about this, like this really is like, you can't. I dare someone to challenge the this ranking.
I think I was literally sitting on the couch with Susan, and we were watching something else, and I actually said out loud, "Wait, lions are cats?" And she was like, "What are you talking about?" She was like, "What?" Like, "Oh, sorry, I was none of the rest of that was out loud. My bad."
I'm going back inside my head right now. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sorry about that. Did not mean to like scare you there. But yeah, this movie's so good, right? So good. I also have, I just, like you said, it's like classic. Like, there's not a part of the movie that's bad, right? Like, it's so like, and also we can't really. I know we're a long time removed from 1994. But like, this was like a huge thing for like years in a row, right? It wasn't just like a big movie in 94 then kind of like went away. Like, it was big for a long time. Like, and we cannot underestimate the cultural resonance of Hakuna Matata. Oh my gosh. Literally everywhere, right? Like, if we just like talk like culturally impact, like it's kind of insane.
Just man, when was this? Oh, we were hiking at a state park on New Year's Day, and Megan was in front of me talking, and I could not hear what she was saying, so I just went Mazereña. Because I still don't know the words to that song, and that's what comes to my mind when somebody's mumbling and I can't hear them.
Yeah.
And that's what she sounded like. And so I still sing these songs actively.
Yeah.
Like it really is, and it's extended, and it's also been turned like very successfully into the Broadway play and musical. Yes.
Oh boy, do I know about that. Me saw that once, and then she just bring it up anytime, just randomly. You never believe the giraffes. Like what?
Yes, I know.
Talking about ice cream. What are you talking about? Stop it.
This is why I know about. Yeah. No. Man. Goodness, that's good stuff.
I have a side note story, tangentially related to The Lion King. This is like, it was such a big movie that like at least 4 years later there were still Lion King Happy Meal toys being a thing.
Yeah.
Right? So I have so this is very specific context here. 8th grade science club field trip to the Branson, some sort of science center. I don't know where we went. We went to Branson somewhere. Some sort of science thing. I don't remember. Went to McDonald's. Somebody got a Happy Meal. I don't remember who it was. I think it was one of the girls, maybe. I'm not sure. And then one of my friends, Adam, right? Adam. He somehow we ended up with this stuffed Zazu toy. Right? Right? It's a blue Zazu toy. And we somehow, in only a way that 8th grade boys can, turn something ridiculous. It came about that like it became a game to steal it back and forth between a group of us. So like the rules were you had to bring it to school, you had to have it on you at all times, and someone had to try to steal it from you all the time. Right? And so it became this game that we played. Just during school, all day, we would try to steal it from whoever had it. And It's important part of the story to know that I still have this thing because I was the champion.
Nice. Longest. I'm glad. Whew. That's a long time to have that.
That's true. I think I win, guys. It's fine. But like I had it at the end of the year. Like I kept stealing it back, and then boom, mine now. So it's my tangential Lion King story. But
I love
other than that, yeah, it's a very important movie. It's just so good. Like you can watch a movie anytime and be like, yeah, it's great. Right? Like there's not really any time where you're like, nah, I don't really want to watch The Lion King. I've never said that phrase.
Right. It's never not been something. Yeah. And that's an important part of this too, is I definitely ranked mine on I guess my list falls into not I didn't rank on how good of a cat it was in the movie. Cattiness was not an aspect of this. No. Just in general, like of the movies with cats, which one was just a good movie?
Yeah, which ones do I like?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Which ones do I want to watch right now?
Yeah. And I'm I'm happy with my list. So
I think it's hilarious that it's basically the same list except for number 2. Right?
Number 2,
great. I like it.
So bizarre. We nailed number 3 and number 1, and then 2 was like I was like, oh, is this? I don't know. What's gonna happen here?
What else did you put on here?
Yeah.
And then 4 and 5 were the same too, just in opposite directions.
Switched. So
count it. So pretty good.
Yes.
4 out of 5 sames, basically.
Sames. So 4 out of 5. Yeah. So these lists are much more conclusive and way more better than any thing AI can give you. Basically,
Yeah,
what
no
we
kidding.
found.
Definitive list right here. Top 5.
So that's good. Well, I have some more. I'm gonna go watch some of these actually while I.
All right. All right, listeners, let us know your favorite movie starring cats, especially if your name is Linda from cinemacast.com. Want to hear your opinions?
Link in show notes. My goodness.
Blam.
She's still posting. Oh my gosh.
I know. I was reading their website today.
Like
I was looking at
literally.
She
one
has
a day.
all of these movies on there. She has animated movie categories where
Which is-
it's just sort of like for cat enthusiasts, right? Just to
Yeah.
kind of give you a summary and about her rating on how she likes it, right? So even it's not just live action cat movies, ladies and gentlemen. Animated cat movies are on the website as well. I was reading about them today, so there you go. I did not look and see if she has the Lion King on her site. I looked at all the rest of them. Homework. We'll do that next.
I don't think she does.
Oh, domestic cats only over at cinemacast.com.
She does
divisive number 1 on our list. Then
she does have True Tale About a Lion's Tale from 1950.
Oh, okay.
And Lionheart from 1968.
Oh,
But no
Lion King.
No Lion
Maybe
King.
she just hasn't got around to it yet.
Maybe
That's all right.
There's a lot of cat movies as we are learning.
Yeah, who knew?
Okay.
I mean, she did though. Good job.
Man, yeah. So
Yeah.
yes, check out cinemacats.com. Links in the show notes galore this episode. To and the real quick the episode where we talked about our dive into animated movies that were not from Japan or the US was the episode Time Passes.
Oh, yeah.
Where
There we go.
You watched Cat in Paris, and
There you go. It's a good movie.
That's what that was.
And the other one, the Irish one.
Yes, Secrets of
Kells
Kells.
one. Yeah.
And I watched a very depressing movie called
you did.
Waltz
That's
with
right.
Bashir.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going weird. Oh
Yeah.
my.
Oh no.
Don't.
Sadness alert.
That was. So these movies, though, not sad. We'll make you cry, some of them. Homeward Bound, I'm looking at you.
Yeah. It's so good, though. So good.
So,
Homeward Bound 2, Lost in San Francisco, not as good.
It's off the rails just a little bit. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. It's supposed to.
Yeah. But listeners, go to our website to check out old past episodes if you need to look up which one to find to listen to on your favorite podcast service or YouTube, actually. You can go there too.
Yes. On YouTube.
There you go.
Because we're like that.
There you go. Yeah, obrother.com. Search archived episodes. You can actually search by topic and it'll tell you what the heck we're talking about.
Yes. And you can read inextricable transcripts. So
true.
If you can't listen, if that's difficult, if you are traveling and you want to play, don't forget your AirPods. You can read this if that's something that interests you, or whatever. And it makes great search too.
If you come across a topic that we haven't talked about yet, send us an email. We'll see what we can do about that.
Or just wait long enough and it will come up naturally.
That's true. But if you can't wait, drop us a hint. Maybe get to it faster that way. Satiate your listening abilities, right?
Very good. Well, all that as well. So some more movie viewing to do.
All right. I have to come up with more animal movie lists coming later.
And listeners, just imagine how many of them will be from the 90s. I think this one.
Well, 4 out of 5 of mine were from between 1993 and 1998. So I think
we call that peak media is what we do.
And then one inextricably from 1970. But, it's fine. It's
fine. Basically. 70s were the 90s of the 8. Anyway, it's not important.
It was the 90s of the 60s.
Yes. There we go. Exactly. Well, love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.